Welcome back to AI Edge Daily, where we cover the most important developments in artificial intelligence. I'm your host, and today we're breaking down a story that's reshaping the economics of AI development in 2026. Last week, Z.ai made waves in the AI community by releasing GLM-5.2, an open-weights language model that's outperforming OpenAI's GPT-5.5 on multiple long-horizon coding benchmarks. But here's the truly remarkable part. They're doing it at 1/6 the cost. This isn't just an incremental improvement. This is a fundamental shift in how we think about AI capability, accessibility, and the democratization of cutting-edge technology. Let's break down what's actually happening here and why it matters so much for the future of AI development. First, let's talk about what long-horizon coding benchmarks actually measure. These aren't simple coding tasks that can be completed in a few lines of code. Long-horizon benchmarks test a model's ability to understand complex, multi-step problems, maintain context over extended reasoning chains, and produce production-quality code that solves real-world problems. Think of it like the difference between asking someone to write a function versus asking them to architect an entire software system. These benchmarks are closer to the latter. When we say GLM-5.2 is beating GPT-5.5 on these tasks, that's significant. GPT-5.5, released earlier this year, represented what many thought was the cutting edge of commercial AI development. OpenAI invested enormous resources into that model. The training infrastructure alone cost hundreds of millions of dollars. And now we have an open-weights competitor that's outperforming it on critical benchmarks while costing a fraction as much to run. The cost difference is where this story really gets interesting. When Z.ai says they're doing this for 1/6 the cost, they're talking about inference costs, training efficiency, or likely both. In 2026, as we've moved deeper into the AI era, cost has become the primary battleground. Capabilities are increasingly table stakes. What separates winners from everyone else is efficiency. Think about the implications. If you're a company running a coding assistant, an enterprise AI platform, or any system that relies on long context code generation, the economic calculus just changed dramatically. Paying premium prices for GPT-5.5 starts looking less attractive when GLM-5.2 can do better work for 1/6 of the price. But there's something even more significant happening underneath this benchmark victory. GLM-5.2 is open weights. That means researchers, companies, and developers can download it, fine-tune it, optimize it, and build custom versions for specific use cases. You cannot do that with GPT-5.5. You're stuck with whatever OpenAI decides to give you through their API. This open weights advantage compounds over time. When you release a model as open weights, you're essentially inviting thousands of researchers and engineers to improve it. Someone will optimize it for mobile deployment. Someone else will fine-tune it for legal document analysis. Another team will create a specialized version for medical coding. The community immediately starts finding ways to make the model more capable, more efficient, and more useful for specific domains. OpenAI's closed approach doesn't benefit from this kind of distributed innovation. They have talented teams, absolutely, but they're one organization. The open weights community is millions of developers worldwide working simultaneously to push capabilities forward. Let's also address what this means for the broader AI landscape in 2026. We're now firmly in what I call the efficiency era. The race for raw scale, training bigger and bigger models on more and more data, has hit practical limits. You can't just keep quadrupling parameters and expect corresponding performance gains. The real competition now is about getting more capability per dollar, more performance per watt of electricity, and more usability out of the same computational resources. Z.ai's success with GLM-5.2 signals that this efficiency-first approach is winning. They're not claiming they have the biggest model. They're claiming they have the smartest model. The model that does more with less. This also puts pressure on commercial AI labs to reconsider their strategies. OpenAI, Anthropic, Google DeepMind, and others have built their entire business models around proprietary, closed models. But if open weights alternatives start consistently outperforming closed models while costing less, the economics become impossible to ignore. There are already hints this is happening. We've seen several major AI labs this year increase their investment in open source initiatives. Some have started releasing more model weights. This is market pressure in action. When you can no longer guarantee superiority through secrecy and scale alone, you have